If you've ever felt like your electric practicing has plateaued or has got you feeling stuck, here are 4 tools that double bass players use that could also be beneficial to electric bass players. The first item is A Contemporary Concept of Bowing Technique for the Double Bass by Frederick Zimmermann. This book is loaded with patterns for building those pluck-and-hand chops. The next item is Boardwalkin by Hal Robinson. This book is a great tool for expanding fingerboard geography. The third item, we'll talk about using pitch drones to help tighten up your intonation on the fretless bass. And finally, we'll talk about how to enhance your chops by using Contemporary Violin Technique by Ivan Galamian. So let's jump into it. The first classical tool for the electric bassist is A Contemporary Concept of Bowing Technique for the Double Bass by Frederick Zimmermann. This book can be used to help enhance your straight-ahead plucking technique, for double thumb technique, your slap pop technique, or for using a pick. This book has pages and pages of string crossing exercises, isolating the bow hand, or for the electric bass, isolating the plucking hand so the players allow the time and space to focus on and master the plucking hand technique. For an abundant collection of plucking exercises, check out Fred Zimmermann's A Contemporary Concept of Bowing Technique for the Double Bass. The next classical tool for the electric bassist is Hal Robinson's Boardwalkin. This book provides a roadmap for the bassist to get a thorough understanding of the geography of the fingerboard by breaking up the bass in 6 positions. This book does an excellent job of taking one scale and covering the whole fingerboard. The first position takes you across the fingerboard, until you move up to the second position, where you will move across the fingerboard again. The scale will take you all the way up and down the neck, covering all the positions in the same way you played the first 2 positions, giving the player a thorough grasp of the whole fingerboard. The next classical tool is for the fretless electric bass. One tool string bass players can use to improve intonation is any app or device that produces a pitch drone. Let's say during this process of refining your intonation, you were practicing a C major scale. A great choice for the pitch drone is G. In the key of C, G is a solid choice for a drone. It's a perfect interval above C, plus it doesn't have any half steps approaching it on either side, above or below. Since this tool is beneficial for the double bassist intonation, it stands to reason it could help refine the intonation for the fretless bassist as well. The last classical tool for the electric bassist on this video is Contemporary Violin Technique by Ivan Galamian. This book comes in 3 parts. The first part has a ton of different scales. The second part has a bunch of bowing patterns. The third part is full of rhythmic variations. This is the section intended to be our next electric bass tool. The section with the rhythm patterns has patterns ranging from 1-note rhythmic patterns all the way up to 16-note rhythmic patterns. Let's say, for example, you're working on the head for Donna Lee, and you get it to a tempo below your target, and you plateau. This is when rhythmic patterns come in handy. Let's say, for example, you're stuck on this bar and the first 2 beats of the next bar. Now it's time to decide which rhythmic patterns you're going to pick. First, determine the mathematical breakdown of the notes. For our passage, there are 12 notes. That means you could easily use 2-note rhythm patterns, 3-note rhythm patterns, 4-note rhythm patterns, 6-note rhythm patterns, and 12-note rhythm patterns. That's a ton of variation available for one little group of notes. For the sake of simplicity, let's pick a pattern from the 4-note rhythm patterns. Of all the grouping of 4 rhythm patterns, you can see there are plenty of options. For this exercise, we'll use this rhythm pattern. Instead of beating this passage to death by playing it over and over again with its original written rhythm, you take this rhythm and superimpose it on the said notes from Donna Lee. The execution of this passage will sound like this. Please note that I included the B natural downbeat of beat 3 for the sake of flow. By superimposing all those different rhythms over the passage, you're forcing yourself to solve new problems with each rhythm variation, keeping you focused, present, and giving you another tool to break through a technical plateau. The Boardwalkin book by Hal Robinson can be used for working out your melodic minor modes as well. All the scales in this book are Ionian, your favorite neighborhood diatonic major scale. So if you want to practice your melodic minor shapes while covering the whole fingerboard, just lower the third degree of any of the scales, and boom, you're covering the whole fingerboard with melodic minor modes. As you can see in this example here, this is just the C major page that I've been showing throughout the whole thing. All you have to do is just take that E natural. Anytime you see E natural, you make it an E flat, and there you are. You have melodic minor all the way up and down the neck. Same goes for all the other scales. You just drop that third scale degree and you're set. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you find these tools useful.